Ever feel like your channel has kind of hit a wall? Like you're stuck on a growth plateau? Well, the answer might not be in your next video idea, but in where your next viewers live. Today, we're going to dive into how you can unlock a massive global audience through something called YouTube localization.
So, let's just start with a huge number, 90%. Get this, over 90% of YouTube's audience prefers watching content in their native language. Think about that for a second. For every one viewer you're reaching right now, there are potentially 9 more out there, waiting. This isn't just a random statistic, it's practically a treasure map pointing to your channel's future growth.
So that begs the question, right? Where are your next million subscribers hiding? The answer is actually way simpler than you might think. They're in countries all over the world, and they're just waiting for content that speaks their language. Localization is the key that unlocks all of those doors. Okay, so let's dig into this hidden global opportunity. Because in today's YouTube world, going global isn't just a nice-to-have for the giant creators anymore. It's fast becoming an essential strategy for anyone who's serious about growth.
So what exactly is localization? Well, it goes way beyond just hitting translate on a block of text. We're talking about a full-on adaptation of your content, your audio, your titles, your thumbnails, even your descriptions, to create an experience that feels completely natural and native to someone in a totally different culture.
Now, there's a really important tension here that we've got to be aware of. As this quote points out, when you start to scale up, there's a real danger that your personal, creative content can just turn into a commodity. But here's the thing. Localization, when you do it thoughtfully, is actually a way to fight against that. By tailoring your content, you're not just translating words, you're re-injecting that personal connection that got you started in the first place.
And hey, the data on this is absolutely compelling. YouTube's own CEO, Neil Mohan, revealed that for videos that have dubbed audio, more than 40%, of the total watch time comes from people listening in a language that wasn't the original. That's almost half the engagement, all driven by localization. Okay, so this brings us to the first really big strategic crossroads you're going to face. Do you keep all your languages under the roof of one single channel, or do you start building out a global empire of separate, dedicated channels?
So what's the right path for you? Should you use YouTube's multi-language audio feature on your main channel, or should you go all in and launch entirely separate channels for each language? This isn't a small decision, by the way. It's going to have a huge impact on your brand, your community, and yeah, your bottom line.
Let's break down the trade-offs right here. Using multi-language audio, or MLA, is definitely the low-effort option. But the downside is your discoverability is pretty limited, and trying to build a community in the comments is, well, it's tough. On the other hand, separate channels are for sure more work up front, but the payoff? Oh, it's huge. We're talking way better discoverability in local search, strong, dedicated communities, and a much higher potential for local ad and sponsorship deals.
And let's be really clear about the drawbacks of just slapping on another audio track. Your thumbnails, any on-screen text you have, your descriptions, all of that stays in the original language. It's almost impossible to build a real community when your comment section is a chaotic mix of a dozen different languages. Plus, let's be honest, YouTube's built-in AI auto-dubbing can often sound pretty robotic and just inauthentic.
But just look at the kind of results you can get when you commit to separate channels. This quote from Slav of Slav's Adventures, it just says everything. 30 million views in a few months, with some of the dubbed videos even doing better than the originals. I mean, wow. That shows you the kind of explosive growth that is actually possible. Now, I know what you might be thinking. This sounds like a massive amount of work. And, it used to be. But this is where things get really exciting. Let's look at the AI-powered tools that are making high-quality localization more accessible than ever before.
Choosing the right tool really just starts with your goal. What are you trying to do? Are you looking for incredibly lifelike, emotional voiceovers for something like a podcast? Or do you need a full-on video production suite with AI avatars and perfect lip syncing for your marketing content? The answer to that question will determine your whole toolkit.
And get this, you don't always have to break the bank. There are amazing free tools, like Google's AI Studio, that offer unlimited voice generation and are honestly excellent for what most creators need. Now sure, paid tools like ElevenLabs are fantastic for super specific things like voice cloning and emotional nuance, but the truth is, for a lot of people, the free options are more than powerful enough to get started.
Here's a quick little guide to help you match the tool to the job. For marketing or training videos, you probably want to look at HeyGen with its AI avatars. For podcasts, where realism is everything, ElevenLabs is probably your best bet. And if you're doing live events or just producing at a massive scale, CAMB.AI is the leader in the space. The key is just to pick the tool that really fits your specific content style.
Okay, so we've covered the why and the how. Now for the final, crucial piece of the puzzle, the where. Let's build your data-driven roadmap for global expansion.
So, this chart shows the two main strategies you can take. First, you can target high-revenue markets, like, say, Germany, which has a really high CPM. That's the cash you get per 1,000 views. Or you can go for high-volume markets like India. The CPM there is lower, for sure, but the absolutely massive size of the audience can lead to huge overall revenue and reach.
And let's just take a second to absorb the scale we're talking about. Spanish and Hindi. Each of those represents a potential audience of over 600 million people. There are more than 300 million Arabic speakers and nearly 150 million YouTube users in Brazil alone. These aren't just little niches. They are entire ecosystems of viewers just waiting for your content.
So how do you actually start? Here is a simple 4-step playbook. Step 1, just test the waters. Don't go all in right away. Just add some translated subtitles and metadata to your existing videos. Step 2, analyze your data. See which languages are actually driving watch time and engagement. Step 3, commit to a strategy, either MLA or separate channels for the languages that are clear winners. And finally, step 4, launch your full dubs, and then just track and optimize based on performance.
And look, if you take away just one thing from all of this today, please let it be this quote. The simplest, most effective first step you can take is just localizing your metadata. That's your titles and descriptions. It is absolutely the lowest effort move with the highest potential return because it helps the YouTube algorithm understand exactly who your content is for in these new markets.
So, I'll just leave you with this final question. If your content could break every language barrier and speak to anyone, anywhere in the world, who would it reach, and what could you achieve? The tools and the strategies are here. The global audience is waiting.